Hi, it's Alex from the Wildlife Center of Virginia. Spring is here, so it's a great time to talk about eastern cottontail rabbits. During any given year, eastern cottontails are typically one of, if not the, most common admitted species to the Wildlife Center due to injuries from cat or dog attacks, lawnmowers, other yard equipment, and nest disturbances. There are a few things you should know to be a good ally to our fuzzy long-eared friends. Eastern cottontail rabbits reproduce throughout the spring and summer, starting usually around mid-March through mid-September. Nests are found in shallow depressions on the ground. Cottontails don't burrow. Those nests are covered with soft grasses and are lined with tufts of the mother rabbit's fur. Due to the shallow nature of a cottontail nest, it's a really good idea to check your yard before you mow. If you do find an active cottontail nest with babies inside, you can still safely mow your yard, but try to give them at least a 10-foot buffer zone that you leave undisturbed. Don't mow within that 10-foot diameter. We recommend you take an extra precaution with a plastic lattice laundry basket. You can place it upside down on top of the nest while you're mowing. Just be sure to remove it once you're finished. You can also use this technique to protect cottontails from domestic pets, cats and dogs. That's a leading cause of injury after attacks for young cottontails. So if you cannot fully restrict access from your pet to that cottontail nest, use the empty laundry basket upside down, place a heavy rock or other heavy object to keep it stable. Just be sure to remove it a few hours before dawn and a few hours before dusk so that the mother rabbit can come back to feed and care for her young. Also remember that cottontail mothers don't use their sense of smell to locate their nest. They use landmarks and visual identifiers. So try to leave the area as undisturbed as possible. After the baby cottontails have grown and they are gone from the nest, it is appropriate to destroy a nest site to prevent it from being used again in the future. If you do find a baby rabbit and you're unsure if it needs help, there are signs that you can look for that may indicate whether or not you should take action. Remember to check for these signs before accidentally kidnapping an uninjured bunny that doesn't actually need help. If you find a baby rabbit, is it bleeding? Does it have open wounds or broken bones? If it's been in a cat's mouth or a dog's mouth? Is it covered in fly eggs that look like small grains of rice? If it's cold, wet, or crying nonstop, then the answer is yes. Take that rabbit to your nearest wildlife veterinarian or permitted rehabilitator. Do not give the baby food or water, and never chase a rabbit. The stress of being chased is very dangerous to rabbits, and they're a really high-stress species prone to a condition called capture myopathy, which is caused by chase and stress. Capture myopathy can lead to damage of internal organs and even death. If no to any of those questions, the next step is to identify its age and determine if intervention is really needed. This is what a young cottontail rabbit might look like if it's old enough to be independent and is uninjured. It is about the size of a softball, larger than a softball. It weighs at least 100 grams. That's like the average sized bar of soap, and it's fully furred and its eyes are open. If you come across a rabbit that looks like this and it's uninjured, you can probably leave it alone. Kidnapping baby bunnies that aren't injured does more harm than good for their survival. If an eastern cottontail baby bunny that you find is smaller than this, or its eyes are closed, or it's not fully furred, there is a chance that it has been orphaned. If you can find the nest location, it is appropriate to take that baby bunny and put it back in the nest. But how can we tell if that nest has been abandoned? It's a little tricky because remember, cottontail rabbit mothers are really secretive. They want to try everything they can to avoid leading predators back to the nest. One way that we can check is by taking 4 pieces of string or yarn or even 4 really straight twigs or branches and laying them in a tic-tac-toe pattern directly across the nest on top. Does return to their nests at dawn and dusk to feed and care for their young. So if you leave this tic-tac-toe pattern on top of a nest for about 12 hours, and if you return and it has been disturbed, messed up and a little disheveled, that's a sign that mom is coming back to feed and care for her young. If it looks exactly as it was when you left it, chances are those babies have been orphaned or the nest has been abandoned. And if that's the case, you should take those bunnies to a permitted rehabilitator or wildlife veterinarian as soon as possible. Each animal's nutritional, housing, and handling requirements are very specific, and they must be met if they have any chance of survival. Inappropriate food or feeding techniques can lead to sickness or death. Raising a wild mammal in captivity is illegal unless you have the proper permits. For information on how you can become a permitted wildlife rehabilitator, visit our Wildlife Care Academy and contact the Virginia Department of Wildlife Resources or your state's wildlife agency. If you found this video helpful or if you learned something, be sure to like, comment, and share. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you can stay up to date on our latest videos.